Hey, what is going on, guys? It's the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video, and just to give some follow-ups and thoughts, this is gonna be kind of like a non-spoiler uh type video. And just give you my quick thoughts on it. I finally got to see the video. I wanted to see it on the premiere day, but I had to get my bike fixed, so I couldn't get there last week. And so um finally got to see it today. Or technically whenever this video comes up, but yesterday, Tuesday. I got to see it on Tuesday. Okay. So seen it. And as I pointed out in my videos covering this movie, in the lead up to this movie, um I did think this movie really had a rated R vibe to it. It was very, very gritty from the trailers. Very, very dark, darker than normal. Obviously Batman movies are dark, but it had like a dark, gritty type atmosphere to it that just was very different from the other Batman movies previously that have been done in cinema. And it was quite interesting. It was a different dynamic. Um, I wasn't too much of a fan of the costumes and the uniforms that the characters were portrayed as. Um, Catwoman's mask was very, very tacky. It was just basically a ski mask and a ski mask and ears, on it or whatever. That was it. Like, I mean, come on now, give Catwoman like an actual like mask, like a legit like super villainish type uniform mask. You give her this good freaking uniform, but you give her a terrible mask. Um, a lot of the characters, most of them were really in their street clothes. Uh, Penguin was in like kind of more of like a gangster type, you know, outfit. He was in a suit for the most of the film. Riddler was in like some random ass uniform with a mask. Not the classic question mark green tone jacket like you'd normally see Riddler in. Um, and I was kind of upset about that because I like the characters in their traditional uniforms. And they kind of were more in street clothes, really. Um, Batman's costume was pretty good. They kind of modified the bat symbol. Um, I guess they were doing it a little different. They wanted to do it. It kind of looked like an actual bat, though, like the way they changed the symbol. Like they kind of made it more of an authentic bat like logo. Um, but it was good for what it was. I mean I don't think they should have gone with same outfit of what other Batman incarnations have done on cinema. So obviously they should change it a little bit. There's not really much leeway since Batman always has to have a black uniform, but they can change up the logos a little bit in the exteriors of it. So there was that. But I mean, those were my disappointments of the movie itself. Were the uniforms, because again, I kind of prefer the accurate uniforms than trying to be a little more creative with it. Which some of it just felt like it's not like even some of these costumes weren't bad. It's just that like it felt like some of these costumes kind of just really missed the mark on the characters. Like again, Batwoman, or not Batwoman, Catwoman, uh, uh, her uniform was fine. I was okay with the uniform. I liked the uniform for Catwoman, but I did not like the mask. I thought the mask was very tacky, to have a ski mask like that. Um, In terms of the movie, I don't think this was the best cinematic Batman movie of all time. I still think Batman 89 still holds up to this day as the greatest Batman cinema movie ever. Michael Keaton to me was still the best Batman for cinema. For the movie cinema, obviously, you got your Adam West, but I mean that was the television series. But in terms of Batman 89, Batman Returns, I mean, those were the GOATs. Those were the best, not just because it's the original, but those were the best. But this movie had a real different aspect of it. Bruce Wayne really is hard. Bruce Wayne as is really not in this. It's really, this movie really focuses on the aspect of Batman. It really doesn't, I mean, not that all the other movies don't focus on Batman and Bruce Wayne, but this movie really, to me, felt more like this is about Batman. This isn't about Bruce Wayne. This is about Batman. Not that all the other movies aren't like that, but Bruce Wayne, like, as, Batman as Bruce Wayne, Bruce Wayne got his time, in there. But here, it just felt like this was all about Batman. It felt like this was all about Batman. Detective skills were more explored in this film, which is very different from past Batman films. But I thought, that I thought that was okay for what it was, because Batman is the world's greatest detective, and not that other previous Batman films haven't explored his detective genius. But this film really kind of focused on that, and also to a certain extent they also have their action too, which kept me into it. Is the action when they did their big scenes, their chases and whatnot, and their fights. They did it, and they were very well done. It was very good. In this movie, as I said in the trailer, I was wondering who the person was with the hair. I guess it was just It was just Catwoman. I made a mistake on that. I didn't realize that she was just dyeing her hair multiple times. That was kind of different, but I guess that makes sense too. But a lot of twists and turns in this movie, though. This is a great movie. When I started seeing the numbers come out, I was really surprised. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm glad the movie's doing well. I didn't want a Batman movie to fail. I mean, this is Batman. Batman cannot fail. We cannot fail a Batman movie. And after the Batman v Superman whole debacle, it barely breaking even because of the Superman stank to it, you know what I mean? To just get that Superman guy out of there, whip him under the rug, you know what I'm saying? That overrated superhero that nobody likes. And I think this movie was very well done. I enjoyed it. It was a 3-hour movie. The runtime was 2 hours and 56 minutes, which is just crazy. But obviously, Spider-Man No Way Home did that. No Way Home did it close to 3 hours for it as well. And obviously, that was the best movie in the pandemic era. And Batman is right now in second in its short time of being out. So, very, very impressive for this movie. In terms of Robert Pattinson's performance as Batman, I thought he did a good job. Again, I wouldn't say he's the all-time greatest cinematic Batman. I still hold Keaton up there, and I still think, even though, the previous Batman, we were to see some shine. Um, but obviously Christian Bale. Um, you gotta put him right up there. You gotta put him right up there. With you know, up there with them. I don't know where you put it because it's only been one movie, and Christian Bale has obviously been in three, so he's got a finish to him. Um, Ben Affleck's obviously I thought did pretty good for what he was given. Didn't really get a solo movie. He was in a group movie, so there isn't really he was in group movies, so it really isn't that much to go on. Though I did like what I seen from him as Batman. Um, I don't know if you could put him over Robert Pattin's here because Robert Pattin was an actual Batman movie and not in a group Batman movie. Um, so I don't know. I don't know what category you would put um, Ben Affleck's in. It's kind of hard to rank at Ben Affleck's because of that. I mean, the guy had a really good potential of being a great Batman, but the direction that Zack Snyder and all these other people that were doing the cinematic universe, the way they were doing it, just didn't work out. So that's just I don't know where you could put that, but I don't know. I mean, if I was ranking the cinematics right now, I mean, obviously he's better than the Batmans that did Forever and Batman and Robin. Not that those actors weren't good, but obviously with the way the film was, it's just you know, um, obviously, obviously Patton's better. The problem again with Patton though, I mean, he was mostly Batman in this. We rarely got to see him as Bruce Wayne. He had I think he may have had 4 or 5 scenes as Bruce Wayne in this entire film, like in terms of dressing up as Bruce Wayne. And most times they weren't in your dance party, mansion situation, like we seen in like the Dark Knight. They were in different, they were in secluded situations. So, again, not trying to give out the majority of stuff here. I mean, just giving you the base general thing of this, so you don't guys get spoiled because I'll be doing my review another day. It's late, but I mean, just just a really good, well-rounded movie. I mean, again, it had a lot to offer because it had the action, but then it also had this build to it, dealing with the corruption and corruption going on in Gotham, and they really exploited that in this movie. So where it goes from here, I don't know. It's based on the ending, and I won't say what happens in the ending because that will be in the spoiler review. But I mean, where they go from here in the sequel, I mean, there's a lot of different ways they can go with it. Um, but I think they did a good job overall. I think they did good here. Um, and I'll say this because I don't know. Obviously, their sidekicks weren't in this movie. So if you're expecting Robin or Batgirl, no, they're not going to be in this. But we already knew that, so this is not something new. That's good. They're going to be in the Flash like universe or whatever thing, or at least that's what we're being told. But this could open up a possibility for them doing something in the future for a sequel. their version of, Batgirl and Robin in this trilogy, or not trilogy, or sequel, possibly a trilogy, depending on how good it does in the sequel, because again, nothing's guaranteed these days. But it does seem like, based on what's already coming in for the money, because they're already, I think, they're over like 200 million already after the first week. So I think there was a report that they were closing on 2 million after the first week, which is very well good, for them at the box office. So it's definitely getting a sequel, for sure. But I do like that they still kept the emphasis of Batman in this, because obviously that's what we were looking for. But at the same time, they kind of went in a different direction than we had seen from the other movies. Because I don't want them to just do the same thing that the other movies did. Because we've already seen that. We've seen the other movies. We've seen what I didn't want him to do the exact same thing that, like, the Dark Knight did. The Dark Knight trilogy did. Because if they did 100% the same thing the Dark Knight trilogy did, there's really nothing that's new about that. There's nothing really new because we've already seen that. We can always just rewatch the Dark Knight trilogy. You know what I'm saying? So they needed to do something different, but still keep the emphasis important of Batman within the film. And they did that. They did it in a different way, but they did it in a way where it still kept the essence of the character. The importance of the character in a certain way that looked very well done. So, yeah, very good. Again, my gripes about this movie is the uniforms, because I don't think they did the best jobs with the uniforms for most of these main characters. But that's my take on this. Again, this is a non-spoiler thoughts on it after watching it. I'll probably go see this again because I did like the film. I don't know when I'll be able to go see it again, but I'll definitely check it out again before it's out of the theaters, obviously. It's just that it's a 3-hour movie, so for example, I got in there at 5, okay, for the 5 o'clock screening, okay, and I was there, like, the movie ended at, like, 8:22. That's when the credits started hitting. So I didn't get out of that theater until well after 8:30. So it's a long haul. So if you're going to go see this movie, it's a long haul, I will say that. It's a movie that you're going to want to plan, for sure, like, when you want to go see it. Like, if you want to see it, like, the last screening, like, at night or something like that, keep the Batman influence into it. Or if you want to see it earlier, it is going to be a haul, for scheduling. Like, if you're working or something like that, if you have to go to work or something like that, it is definitely something to keep, to make sure that you're available for that time, because it is, like I said, it is a 3-hour movie. So that, if you're not into 3-hour movies, then I don't know if you're going to want to see this, because this is a long haul. But it's Batman, so some people will tolerate it because it is a Batman movie. Usually these are disadvantages for movie theaters, to do a 3-hour movie. When it's an established franchise like Batman, you can get away with that. You got away with Spider-Man. Spider-Man was over 3 hours, or was close to 3 hours. So it definitely can work if it's an established franchise, but you got to keep it engaged. You got to definitely keep them engaged for it to happen. I don't know if they'll. I'm pretty sure this was the longest Batman film, though. I don't think the other Batman films were 3 hours. I think most of them, if not all, were around 2. So it is definitely a haul, for sure. But nonetheless, very good movie. Like I said, I'll do my full in-depth review another day, which will involve spoilers, but nonetheless, very good for what it was, and I am very looking forward to what they decide to do next with this new Batman cinematic franchise. I don't know what we call this, Because what do we call this? Do we call this the Batman universe? Like, I'm sure they'll come up with a name for it. We already have the Dark. We can't call it the Dark Knight because we got the Dark Knight trilogy already. You know, we call that the Dark Knight trilogy, and then we got the OG trilogy, which, you know, really is only a twosome, really, because the third movie really wasn't anything involving anything from the original director. And yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't involving the original director, so, you know, it doesn't matter. When you got, you know, like I said, Christopher Nolan, which that was the Dark Knight trilogy, and then Tim Burton for the first two. He was the director for those. And so his is not even really a trilogy because, you know, Schumacher took over for the next two films. So, I don't know what we're gonna call this, because right now, I bet you we'll call it whatever ends up being what the sequel is called. That's what we'll probably end up calling it, because that's what ended up happening with the Dark Knight. It was a sequel that led us to calling it the Dark Knight trilogy. So we'll see what happens. Comment, rate if you like to stream my videos. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell for all the latest contents. Or if you haven't, just subscribe and hit that button. Comment, rate. If you like to stream my videos, please subscribe again. Discord link in the description. Again, spoiler review coming very soon. That is about it. And to lead this off, I'm Batman. I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Anyways, out of here. Peace. I'm Batman.